A lot of people in 2023 are saying that print on demand is no longer worth it. The margins aren't good and it's no longer worth trying to sell. The market is saturated. It's harder and harder to sell. And that's what the gurus would tell you. So today I want to talk about if print on demand is still worth it in today's market. Can you still sell? Can you still make money? Is it too saturated? Let's break all that down today. To understand the full picture, we first need to zoom out and talk about e-commerce as a whole. Is e-commerce still growing in 2023? Are people still buying more on the internet? Is it still growing? Is it going to plateau at some point? And I think if you look at any point of data, you will clearly see that e-commerce, and really what that means is buying products and goods and services over the internet, is still exploding in growth each year, and it's growing steadily each year. And I personally think, and the data I think shows that into the future for a long time, we're gonna continue to see the decline of big box or just in-person sales at stores and retailers, and a move to online. People continuing to move to online for everyday things, even like groceries and things you would normally always go to the store for. People are more and more each year buying on the internet. I recently heard a podcast where they were even talking about people starting to buy houses and real estate over the internet, even sight unseen, which is absolutely wild. But that is the world that we are living in, and what we're going towards is more and more things being bought over the internet, and the numbers show that. If we look at the growth in retail e-commerce sales from Forbes, this is an article from Forbes, you'll see right here in 2023, we still saw a huge growth from 2022. 2022 coming in at 5.7 trillion, and we were all the way up to 6.3 trillion in total worldwide sales, e-commerce sales. You see that growth from 2021, which by most people's standards was a crazy growth year. 2021, because of the pandemic, was one of the biggest years, I think the biggest year on record ever for e-commerce and the internet sales. But you see that number continuing to grow even post-pandemic throughout the world. And you see these numbers growing to as high as $8 trillion by 2026. Some people also wondering, does social media still work? Is there still opportunity to sell via social media? If we look at this data from Forbes, you'll also see that social commerce sales, which is really sales that are happening on social media, is also growing each year. You see 2023 eclipsing 2022, and that continuing to grow pretty exponentially into the future. So as you can see by just a few points of data, e-commerce sales are continuing to explode higher and higher each year. And I believe that is also in line with the downfall of in-person retail, inside of a store sales. And you also see that social media is continuing to grow as a place where people like to buy. You've also seen the rise of things like Facebook and Instagram shops, where customers can actually check out on social media without even going to a website. And I believe that's only going to continue to get bigger throughout the next few years. So you'll see social media is still and will continue to be an amazing opportunity to sell. When we look at the growth of specifically print on demand, there are a few things to talk about. Now, even though we're seeing huge growth in e-commerce each year, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything on the internet is growing, right? There are likely segments of the e-commerce market that are maybe going down. Things like traditional drop shipping from China. I don't know that that's growing in 2023 as a tactic of just drop shipping from AliExpress. But when we look at print on demand is becoming bigger and bigger each and every year. And it is becoming a much greater opportunity for e-commerce entrepreneurs like you and me each and every year. And one point of reference of stats that I want to give you is just the growth that I've seen in my own programs and in my own businesses throughout the last 6 to 7 years. Now, I started Shirt School about 3.5 years ago from scratch with no students, started teaching people how to do what I have done. And we have seen thousands and thousands of students join our program and build profitable e-commerce, apparel, and print-on-demand businesses over the last 3.5 years. And this year in 2023, we are tracking to by far have our biggest year in terms of number of students we have joining our programs, but also the number of success stories we're seeing in print on demand. Our students, so many of our students are absolutely crushing it with their businesses. So I can speak from personal experience in that I continue to see students having so much success everywhere throughout print on demand, so many different types of businesses, different niches, different products, having so much success, and it seems to be growing each and every year. That sentiment is also echoed in my conversations with various people. Are you looking for a bit of help getting your Shopify store built and launched? If so, I want to give you my free 13-step Shopify store build cheat sheet over at shirtschool.com/cheatsheet. You can pick up this free PDF and it'll take you through 13 steps that you need to complete before launching your store to the public. It's just an easy, quick resource to keep you on track, keep you organized, and help you build out your store. So if you want to pick that up for free, go over to shirtschool.com/cheatsheet. That sentiment is also echoed in my conversations with various print-on-demand companies. As I talk with print-on-demand companies, and I'm so honored to be able to work with some of these big companies and talk to them and produce content and all these different things, I consistently hear from them that their numbers and sales revenue is growing every year exponentially again. And what that means is that sellers like me and you are continuing to make bigger and bigger sales each year, because that's the only way that print-on-demands get paid. The only way that print-on-demand companies make money is when you make sales. So if print-on-demand is declining, that means print-on-demand companies will be declining. But we're seeing quite the opposite. I've heard from print-on-demand companies directly that they're processing as many as 10, 20, and 30,000 orders per day at peak times during the holidays. Next, I want you to look at the Shopify App Store, and we're gonna look at the number of print-on-demand companies that are in the Shopify App Store and see if we can look back at history just a little bit. Now, I've loaded up the Wayback Machine. If you've never been on this website, go check it out because it allows you to view websites in the past, like what they look like in the past. So you can go back to like 2000 and look at Google and see what it looked like. It's pretty interesting to look at old websites. Now, I wasn't able to get specific to print on demand really far back, but I was able to get this screenshot from as recent as April 1st, 2019. This is the Shopify App Store. And if you actually drill down to print on demand, you'll see that there were only 51 results for print on demand companies that you could work with. Now, I started in 2017 and I tried really hard to get a screenshot of when I started in 2017, but this was about the best I was able to come up with. Now, 51 might still seem like a lot, but when we actually look at how many print-on-demand companies there are today in the Shopify App Store, that number jumps to 173. Now, keep in mind, this is just a few years ago when e-commerce was still exploding and there were so many opportunities and print-on-demand was amazing. But look how much just the number of print-on-demand companies that you can work with has grown since 2019. Over 3x, almost 4x, from 51 to 173 companies today. Now, one other thing to look at, which is a little more broad, but is just the sheer number of results that come up in the Shopify App Store. Now, this screenshot from the Wayback Machine is from September 21st, 2021. That would be less than 2 years ago. When you search the term print on demand, in total, it comes up with 344 results. Today, when you search that term in the Shopify App Store, you get 415 results. So you can see, 75 plus more results just in the last couple years. These are either going to be new print-on-demand companies or companies that support the print-on-demand apps, print-on-demand companies, and print-on-demand businesses. This just shows you the explosive growth, even just in the last few years with print-on-demand. So how do you get started with print-on-demand? You might be out there and you might be saying, okay, I believe you, this is a great opportunity, but how do I even get started? And I want to tell you about a few different ways that you can get started. Now, some of the ways I love and some I don't. The first way, and that many YouTubers talk about, and there is opportunity to make money here, is with a marketplace. This is going to be a website like Amazon or Redbubble or TeePublic. Now, these can be great opportunities for a lot of people, especially if you're getting started with print on demand, you're not ready to build your own brand. And there are many great YouTubers that talk about the opportunity on these marketplaces. Essentially, what you do with something like Redbubble or TeePublic or Amazon is you upload a lot of designs, maybe in a bunch of different niches, and you let the marketplace promote your design and bring you sales. Now, sometimes this can be really difficult. You're going to be competing with other designs. There are sometimes, copying issues and trademark issues and those kind of things that happen on these websites. And you're not in control of your own marketing, which means they're really, really hard to scale out your sales and make a lot of money. But this can make you some side hustle money, and some people find success with it. And this is kind of the easiest, quickest opportunity to get started with print on demand. The number 2 opportunity I think is kind of a hybrid, and that would be Etsy. Now, Etsy, I think is a great opportunity for a lot of people. On Etsy, it's also a marketplace similar to Redbubble or Amazon, but you can also create your own Etsy store, and they do allow you to do some of your own marketing, like on social media, but you will not be able to do your own paid advertising. And they also don't allow you to build out an email list and those kind of things to own your own marketing. So Etsy is kind of a hybrid, and I think it's kind of a level 2 opportunity, with the first level being those marketplaces, Redbubble, Teespring, TeePublic, those kind of things. That second level being Etsy, where you have some options to scale up your business, but you're also competing against other designs on the Etsy marketplace. But they do have kind of that hybrid of letting you control some of the marketing. I think this is a level 2 opportunity in print on demand. The level 3 opportunity, the highest opportunity, and what I teach and what I love and what I do myself, is build my own brand where I am in control of all of my marketing, and I can scale my sales as high as possible. There's no limits on what I can do because I own my own marketing. I own my own brand. I can build an email list. I can run paid advertising. I can advertise on social media. I'm in full control. The platform that I recommend doing this on and that I use is called Shopify. And I believe Shopify is the best place to get started building your own brand with print on demand. I think it's important at the end of the day to remember that print on demand is just a term, and your customers are not buying from you because it's print on demand or it's not print on demand. Your customers are buying from you because they like the t-shirt, they like the design, or they like whatever design and product you're selling. It actually has nothing to do with print on demand, and people will continue buying these products. They've been selling for many years, even before print on demand existed. And again, your customer is never aware that it's a print on demand item. They just think they're getting a t-shirt, a hoodie, a mug, or whatever the case may be. So remember that print on demand is just a mechanism of selling, and there is a ton of opportunity there. But when you're promoting your products to your customers, you're not gonna say, hey, this is a print on demand product. You're gonna say this is a t-shirt, right? You're gonna be selling that actual product, and the customer will never know the difference. So print on demand is an amazing opportunity, and I hope you get started as soon as possible so you can start bringing in money for yourself. If you enjoyed this video today and got value, I wanna ask you to tap that like button and also consider subscribing to the channel. We put out new videos each week, and we'd love to have you become a part of the family. So hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified when new videos release. See you soon.